these are my 3 reasons why the Xbox Series S is still the best console for you in 2024. The first reason is the overall value for money that you get from this console. Now, you don't get 2 things that you get on the bigger consoles. Firstly, you're only limited to 512 gigabytes storage for your games. But for me, that's not really an issue because I basically just play the 3 games that I have installed at a time. At the moment, I'm playing FC, I'm playing Call of Duty, and I have a version of Need for Speed installed, but I can't remember the last time I touched that. But in terms of storage, you're gonna be limited. So if you're somebody who likes to stockpile on games, you're gonna have a problem in terms of storage. You can only install up to a maximum of 4 huge games, and games these days are very big. But if you're playing 3 games or 2 games like myself, then you're not going to have a problem. Secondly, you're not going to get a hard disk drive for your CD slot, so you're not going to be able to play the collection of CDs that you have, or if you had previous versions of the Xbox. But for me, that's not really a problem because most of the new games that we're playing these days come in digital versions, and I'm gonna speak about that in my second reason. So let's get into it. The second reason is the digital compatibility of games and the subscription versions that you get. Now, the biggest win that makes this console the console to buy for me is that you can play games from Xbox's subscription or Microsoft subscription model called Game Pass. Now, on Game Pass, you get a collection of games that are owned by Microsoft and also a collection of games from their partners like EA. So you get not necessarily the latest FC, but maybe after like 4 months of release, you get that FC, and you get a lot of titles from EA, some titles from Ubisoft and titles from other companies. But most importantly, you get the day 1 releases from studios that are owned by Microsoft. Now, these are huge titles, but this year they got even bigger with Microsoft buying the studio Activision that creates Call of Duty. We now get Call of Duty as a day 1 release, and as one of the most popular games in the world, that is a big deal for the price that you pay for Game Pass. And I'm gonna put the prices on the screen so that you can see the prices in rands for South Africans and in dollars for people viewing internationally. And the third reason is the future proofing that you get from this console. Now, if you're somebody who's got plans to play games in 8K, you're never going to be able to do that with this console. But if you're a person that ambitious, you're probably also not limited in terms of budget. So this video might not necessarily be for you, but thanks for watching. Another reason why this console is future-proof is that you can play games up to 4K 60, and if you're somebody who wants to play in like 4K 256, 4K, like higher resolutions and higher frame rates, this console is not for you. But most people watching this won't even be able to tell the difference between 4K at 60 and 4K at 120. And for me, who just enjoys playing the games for the fun of the games and am not playing competitively for like esports or anything like that, the difference in frame rates are not that huge. So 4K 60 is perfectly fine for me for the next couple of years. And another problem for some people might be the storage, but Microsoft has introduced expansion discs that are specific for these Xbox versions, so you can buy that expansion disc if you wish to load more games onto it. But I think with how people are playing games nowadays, not many people buy that expansion disc because most people literally just install the few games that they play at that time. But maybe for people who play professionally, that might be a problem, but those kinds of people might already have the bigger console in any case. So overall, I think this is the best console for people looking to buy consoles or for people who own it. I think you shouldn't feel guilty about not upgrading to the next one. And we know that these companies want us to upgrade literally every year, and they've recently released from the PlayStation and the Xbox new consoles, which are basically just updates of these consoles that we've had for the past 4 years, the past 5 years. And these consoles are literally almost just as good. The upgrades are minimal, but the changes in prices are huge. So if you can get your hands on a pre-owned Xbox Series S, the original, or if you can still find one to buy, I know in South Africa you can still buy a lot of those, and with the festive season coming and with Black Friday coming, you're gonna get a lot of specials on these older consoles. I think it's gonna be a good investment for you until the next generation of consoles come up. Thank you so much for watching this brief video. Please subscribe to the channel and help us grow.